In this section, we're going to look at the ternary conditional operator within list comprehensions. So this is a topic that we covered in a previous module, the ternary conditional operator. We're going to begin by reviewing it over here. So the general syntax is as such. Basically it's how you can rewrite an if-else statement using one line of code. So that's what the ternary conditional operator is. You put the the if-else logic in the middle, and then you have what happens when it's true on the left and if it is false on the right. So let's see an example of changing a normal if-else statement into the ternary conditional operator. So here's a simple example. Let's just say we have some variable x is equal to 5. We have a condition that tests whether x is less than 10. If it is, then we're going to assign var some variable to the string low. Otherwise, we'll assign var as the variable high. And here we just print it out. So when x is 5, it is low. If I make it 15, it is high, and put it back to low again. So now, using the ternary conditional operator is just a way to rewrite this in one line of code. So you put the logic over here if x is less than 10, and then else like that. So you put the outcome if it's true, so that's this over here. If it is false, you put that outcome on the right-hand side. So here we have x is low. If I changed it to x equals 15, then var would be high. So just another way of rewriting this. Same thing as list comprehensions. They are just another way of writing a normal list. Okay, let's take a look at another example of the ternary conditional operator. Let's say x is 11, and here we want to determine whether or not this number is odd or even. So we're going to have our test over here in the middle. So if the remainder is 1, that means it's odd. Otherwise, it is even. Let's go ahead and write this out. So 11 is odd, 110 is even. Okay, so what I want to do now is show you how to use these ternary conditional operators in list comprehensions. Okay, let's say we want to go through a list of integers, and we want to return right, even, or odd instead of true or false for sequences of integers. So we've done this before, where we iterate through some sequence of numbers. So here we'll just go 0 to 9. And there's no filter here yet, so we're not going to have a filter just yet. We're just going to have an expression. And we'll say if it is even or odd. So hopefully you remember this was just done above. So this is going to return true if it is even, false if it is odd. And I said here we are determining whether it's odd. So maybe we can do it the other way around to match that. So here we're just printing out whether the number is even or odd. So we have false, true. Now, instead of just printing out true or false, what we could do here is write even or odd. That's what I want to do. And I'm just going to copy and paste this right here. Okay, so I'm going to put this ternary conditional operator. So it's pretty confusing with all of this code, but you have to think this is that one line of code that you're able to run in a list comprehension. And the reason this is wrong over here, so they're saying they're all even, is because I'm using the variable x. So this is important. I'm not using x over here. The loop is using I. So that's a common mistake when you're working in a Jupyter notebook, is to kind of get mixed up. So I just made that mistake myself. So now I'm saying is I. So for every I in a range, it'll be determined whether this I is even or odd. Okay, so 0 is the first item, and it is even, and then 1 is odd, and so forth. All right, let's take this example, and now, instead of writing even or odd, let's double it, double the number if it is even, triple it if it is odd. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to say I times 3, otherwise, even is I times 2. So again, the entire expression is here. I'm using this ternary conditional operator, which allows you to do an if-else in one line of code. And then an if-else or a list comprehension allows you to do a list comprehension in one line of code. And so I get this. All right, so it's going to go through. 0 is even. I will double that, which is still 0. 1 is odd, so I'll multiply by 3. 2 is even, so I'll multiply by 2. 3 is odd, so I'll multiply by 3, and so forth. Let's rewrite this whole expression using our normal ways of for loops or list comprehensions and if-else statements. So for I in range 10, if if it's odd, divided by 2 is 1 remainder, then I will, so we have to create a list variable. I will do append, result.append I times 3. So if it's odd, I will append it and multiply by 3. Otherwise, result.append I times 2. And then we'll look at the result like this. And I misspelled range. All right. So I get the same exact thing. So this one line of code is what all of these lines do. So at some point, list comprehensions become harder to read, so you might want to rewrite them normally, and writing such a way might produce better results for you. So the goal is not to jam everything inside of a single line of code using a list comprehension and the ternary operator. It's really to make it readable and reusable, and that you understand and other people understand as well. All right, so that is how we can use the ternary operator within list comprehensions.